Yo guys, it's Shadow here, and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers. Righty, I've made some changes to the program. Small changes, but I did. Hold on, I'll have to copy them from my editor. So, let me just insert the new stuff, and I'll tell you real quick what I did. This is like step 1 of 2 of changing the program. So, what we did is this step here. So it's a very small step. Basically, when we get into our normal program routine, we are gonna set the radius to piston radius dot max limit times 2. Why times 2? Because obviously we do in our programming, we do things in steps. So every 2 steps is a meter. However, the max limit is actually stored in quote-unquote meters, so 10 is the max, right? So that's why it's like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That will help us with the problem that we had before. And also I had to change the variable here from an integer to a float. In case you don't know what that means, basically, when you define variables in a lot of programming languages, you'll have to define what is going to go into that variable. So an integer is just full numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And a float is a number with comma. So there's like 1.5, 7.9, and you cannot put a certain number, or it can even be like strings, characters, whatever. You cannot put something into a variable that is not made for that. At least not in this programming language. There's some that don't care, some that convert things automatically. Not this one. So we had to change that as well. Alright. So now, let's check code. Yeah, that's fine. We can just run this, and now you can see current radius 20, radius reset. So this will now, in a minute's time, pretty much, will reset our piston, and then it will increase the depth, and then it will start from the beginning once more. So basically that's what we have to do when we come back into the game after a reload or something. Just run the program once, it will check where it is at. There might be a problem, not a problem, but a bit of a weird thing going on if I run the program or hit the run button when the piston is extending. So if it's in the midst of extending, because then we'll get a weird number like, I don't know, 7.9 or 6.3 or something. But still, that will work, because eventually it will just hit 10 and just be there. And so now technically we do not have to count the numbers up anymore. That's technically now code that we don't need anymore, because we check every time what the radius is anyway. But yeah, so the next step, which is something I'm gonna do for next time, or the time after next time, I have to check how much time I have on my hands, is to make the same script for the downwards pistons. So basically what I'll have to do there is have to check, is piston 1 at 10 meters, or is piston 1 lower than max limit lower than 10 meters? If it is, then the active piston is piston number 1, and then we set the depth to that depth. If piston 1 is at 10 meters, basically we'll have to check, or rather then we'll set piston 2 to active, and so on. Or rather, then we go to piston 2 and check, is that below 10 meters? And if no, we go to piston 3, is that below 10 meters? Something like that. Should be doable. There we go, the reset is in progress right now. You can see it, it's pulling back nice and easy. And as soon as it hits the null point here, as soon as it goes all the way back from there, boom, down it goes. Perfect. And now you can see there's a bit more particles flying here. That means it's grinding away a bit more material as before, and actually we're getting into the rich material here. So this is done. This is fixed for now. I'm very happy with that, actually, that I got that to work so flawlessly. All right, I think programmers, if there's any programmers amongst you, you know the feeling when you make a piece of code and then you run it and then it goes off without a hitch, well, often you actually feel weird because you're not used to that. It's like, why did that work? I do not trust this. All right. Right, so let's go to our next thing. So we have our little rover over here. Rover, as you know. And the, let's say, quote-unquote problem at the moment, other than that not being welded, is that obviously our cargo capacity with this rover is still fairly low. Now, I know I could just slap like medium cargo containers all over the place, but if you know me, I'm not like... I don't want to say that the form is more important than the function, but to me it would feel weird if I just slapped things all over the place. However, back here, I think we'll have to open this up to check, but I think back here there is a space for cargo. Let's check. Yeah, okay. I think this is doable. So now the question is, how exactly are we gonna do this? Alright. Also, we could just delete these here and make these here, or at least in the middle here, make more room for cargo, because replacing these with an actual cargo container would be nice. We could also delete this stuff here and find new spaces for these two tools here and put a cargo container here. So I'm talking obviously about the medium cargo containers, these ones. They would come down a little bit further, and yeah, if we go over a bumpy road, this might actually be quite bad. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna do it that way. You know what I mean? I'm also, I would be potentially in favor, let me just put this stuff back here for a second. I could also be in favor of doing the following. And essentially removing like 3 of these containers and essentially putting that cargo container right in the middle here. You know, taking away these 3 blocks, these 3 blocks, and these 3 blocks, and then slapping it right here, and then it would come down as much as this this battery. And since the cargo container, the medium cargo containers entry points would be in the middle here, we would have to remove these here as well, and then basically put curved conveyor ports here so we can integrate it completely. However, before I do that, I'll have to... I'm just gonna put some safety blocks here, because we'll remove basically the whole width of blocks here, and I'm always a bit worried when I do that because things might fall apart. However, I think it should be fine.
Inventory full.
Oh, yeah, obviously that's gonna happen.
Inventory full.
That's fine.
Inventory full.
Can pick that up later. So, there we go.
Inventory full.
Now, slap a medium cargo container right here. So now we have to just check how we're gonna do this. I think we'll have to put the conveyor ports already in, because if we don't have like something to place against it, if you know what I mean. Also that was the wrong one. Small reinforced. There's the right one. So yeah, I think, yeah, like this and like this. Let's weld these, and then technically these we can change these into these kinds as well, and just let them go down instead of having what do you call these, T-sections? We don't necessarily need the T-sections here anymore. So we can put it like so, right? And now you can see there's the cargo port in the middle, and if we put it like that, we can still access it from below in theory. I'm just gonna start welding stuff. Needs 9 more interior plates apparently, which is what we shall get. Let me... Ooh, this one is full actually. Okay, we'll have to start moving stuff into new cargo containers And generally speaking, I want to kind of organize my, my inventory management at base level. I think that would be quite nice. There we go. So, actually, these can be deleted now again because everything's fine. Nothing fell apart. So, how are we now looking for cargo space perspective? So, if we look at these containers, the small cargo containers, actually, let's just look at the ship. There we go. Small cargo containers contain 125 liters, and we deleted 5 of those, which is about 625, and here we got 3,375. Cockpit has 1,000. Yeah, so that's a good step. That's already a step into the right direction. Again, I could do the same thing probably over here and over here. Back here it might result in a little bit of a more complicated setup. But I think we'll just take the rover and ride somewhere. But before we do that, I think after last week's accident, it was made very clear that I cannot be trusted driving around these pillars. So we'll probably move our conveyor port to maybe like over here, you know, so that I have a straight shot past everything, essentially. So let me just move a few things here, aka, well, move a few blocks here. There we go. Then I'm just gonna weld at least the front part here, because that's gonna be the part that if I'm gonna drive into it, then it's gonna be this part, so this needs to be secured. Go. And then let me go over here. How much are we actually looking on? Well, there's like, there's a drill with 35? What? Hold on, which drill is that? What the fuck? That's this drill, obviously, right? Show on, can we do show on HUD? I think if we at least sit in here, it should... Wait, this drill? How does this... What? How the fuck did that happen? Something must have broken. There's something weird. Something very strange is going on here. So this does not get into here. Why is that the case? There must be a broken link somewhere. That is good. The conveyor sits right. That is good too. Why does that not work? Oh! That's why it doesn't work. The freaking thing was broken. Okay, now we should get a gazillion pieces of stone. What the hell? That was, okay. Ah! Alright. That should be interesting. Let's make a few thousand plates then. Okay, we had like 60 tons of stone in that drill, and it didn't get transported because... Probably because one of these, this thing probably banged against the wall at once. Well, so that means we kind of have to check over here like regularly if something like that happens. Although here the chance is a little bit smaller because this is so far away from the actual drilled area. But yeah, still crazy. Crazy that that even happened. Okay. Very interesting, I think is the right word for that. Okay. So, we were about to move the conveyor port. Also, I'll, again, afterwards I will also start moving, or not moving, but start putting some filters into the system so we can, for example, get, like, most components into this. And then we'll put a little staircase up here so we can easily access it without using a jetpack. Stuff like that, you know? But yeah. Let's see. What do we need for this upgrade. We'll need no displays, obviously. We need none of those. That. Just about that. Okay. So, that means... here...
Energy low.
we'll move it to, let's say... to somewhere over here. Let's get all our components into this. We'll move it to... yeah, something like this. It needs to stick out, right? So this needs to be here. I'm gonna just put one of these down so we can start building it from over here. No? Oh, this actually does need steel plate. Okay, we get some steel plates then. Fine. Whatever. Steel plates. That. And then from here we'll probably just go up in the air. Most likely. Just try to... probably have to move one more. Or we have to move like out of the way, like so. This is probably more efficient. It might actually be the same efficiency material-wise. Can I still walk like that through this if there's a... yeah, I can. Okay, cool. And then here we'll just move that down into here, and that's where it will connect to the rest of the system. Which means we can start grinding this here away. And, like so. Okay. Grind that away. Bonk.
Inventory.
10k of gravel. Yeah, the gravel. I might just do like a exit chute for gravel, where our system can just freaking, you know, eject gravel, because we just don't need that much, don't we? I mean, we have so much freaking gravel. It's unreal, you know? And I really don't think we need that much. I really don't think so. But we'll have to check. All right. What are we missing? We're missing interior plates, I believe. Yeah. Don't need computers. We don't need gravel. Yeah, see, there's 12k gravel in here for no apparent reason. Oh, we might actually need computers for... yeah, okay, I see why. Also, make, please, a few of those if you can. Did we already run through all of our stone? Is that a fact? That went faster than I expected it. Jeez. Okay. There's still a ton of gravel there. Yeah, we're missing steel tubes. Is what we're doing. Steel tubes, motors. Actually, pretty much everything. And then 20 computers and whoosh, ton of steel plates. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to take care of the of this. We're producing, but not quite quick enough. But the thing is, we kind of have to finish this here, because if we don't finish this line here, we cannot connect to the facility anymore, and we would have to drag things over by hand, which is not really what I'm looking forward to do. Okay, then we need 20 more computers to finish that off. Yeah, motors and steel tubes is what we need. At least it seems like at the moment we can, at least like every few seconds, we can make one of them or something. Which is, you know, okay-ish. Not great. Not good. It's okay. Make a few motors too, please. But yeah, I think over here the point is good over there from the distance. Yeah, should be fine. I can even pretty much go straight. I should get past the hole, pretty much. God,
Inventory
10k
full.
gravel. Do I even want to put that in here? Does that even have a place in our ecosystem here? I don't think so. I'm sure there's like mods that fix that problem. You know, something like a,
Inventory.
I don't know. I
full.
think in Minecraft there was, I played a mod pack at one point. Was it? I think it might have been like an industrial mod pack where you have like machines and stuff. And there was one machine that is like a gravel sifter that basically chews through all the gravel, and like for every 60 blocks of gravel you have like a chance of getting, I don't know, one piece of ore or maybe some stone. I don't know, but just something useful, you know. That would be a good addition to this as well. All right. Let me just. I'm gonna do a little a little hand drilling here. We're gonna give the machine, the refineries, a little bit of an influx of material ourselves. Basically is what we're gonna do. Just gonna grab a handful and toss it in, and hopefully that will start giving us the material we need. There. Chew on that. So we might also need to switch like this around, because we also need frickin' motors as well, not just the tubes. Although tubes were 24. That's 35 tubes out, I think, if I just calculated this correctly. But yeah, and then I think it was something like 20 of those. I mean, we might just go and frickin', you know, put stuff per hand into the refinery for once. Alright, let's do it. I just want to see how much we can get in here. Parking parking is disengaged. Oh yeah, we have to obviously start the disable the recharge. And look, it's almost at, well, soon to be at max radius again, so we might get another descent. This, you know, and then again for next time I'll have to make the same thing that I did today, but for the depth piston at least. And then one episode after that, I think we should have tons of time to make the same thing for the number, the piston number that it should engage. I think at the moment we can just calculate the depth and then just increase depth piston 1, because it's gonna take a while before we arrive at depth piston 2's working area essentially. But yeah, oh well. So the hole should be somewhere over there, and this time we should be able to load up a bit more. And yeah, like this, the profile is also not nearer to the ground, the way we just built that, you know? That's good, because otherwise there just might be a possibility. Why is there 3 holes here? I'm confused. What are these other holes? Did I dig those? Oh, yeah, okay. I might have dug those to get down to detect stuff. The problem, of course, is that the detector that is on this bad boy doesn't show me stuff because I don't have an antenna on it. That's also an upgrade for the future, putting a real antenna onto this bad boy so that it can broadcast ore locations to me, you know? Oh god, don't fall to your death. That would be a bit dumb. But yeah, that's the problem, obviously. That's why we dug these holes, so we could potentially, you know, get ourselves closer to the ore. Okay, into the cockpit. There we go, into the meat cargo container. Down again. Ow. Let's hope we can get a good amount of freaking iron here.
Inventory full.
That will kickstart our refineries again. Yeah, there we go. This should, I think, a medium cargo container should take about 3 inventory full of iron. Human inventories, that is. You know what I mean? So that should be fairly useful. That should be probably 3 times as much as we already took back every time because we didn't have that much, I think, with the small cargo containers to begin with. Yeah, I think we might have brought back like 5-6k last time, and now we have like 8k or something in one container, which is insane. If you compare it, obviously, just from a relative standpoint, it's quite insane. Obviously, over the grand scheme of things, it's not that much, but, you know. There, we're still not full, but almost. I think I can get this inventory load, basically jam that into the remaining cargo containers, and then gather a few more scraps, and then we're done. More or less. Obviously, we have a few less cargo containers than last time. But yeah, the rover connector obviously has a few more slots. That's nice. Also, it's not that much iron, at least from a height perspective. It's only like a very small slice of iron here. Although it might be like under the whole field here. It might be the width of this field. The area might be insane, but the height is not that much. We collected a little bit of stone. We cannot put it in there, obviously. Cargo, small cargo, small cargo, small cargo. Yeah, okay. Drop that. Only stone, only iron allowed in here. We do not need other lesser materials. Only the good stuff. But it's kind of nice to know that while we're absent here and doing this thing, this mining operation, at least back at base, even if it's not like a huge amount, but we have like a constant trickle of stone coming in. That's a nice thought, you know? And now I know that it's also gonna work from the radius wise, so I don't have to take care of that. That's a big relief. Very relieving for me. Let's get up here. Whoop. We get everything full. Yeah. Swing by this thing and go back. Whew. Okay, that was a good day's work, I would say. Alrighty. Let's just kick that in and hopefully we can finish up the whole connector relocation. And maybe I'll just slap a sorter onto, or not onto, but between the large cargo container and the rest of the system, and just tell the system to toss components in there, you know? So the rest of the inventory slots, the medium inventory that we have, is basically reserved for like ore and stuff and raw material. We'll probably sort it a bit more in the future. But, yeah. Okie dokie, here we are. Our mine is doing what it's supposed to do, I think. It's almost at max range again, I think. Yeah, pretty much. Lovely. Alright, so now we should have a little bit more space to maneuver here, right? I mean, it's not perfect. Also, our ship is now in the way, which I might need to park this at a different spot. Because, yeah, now that thing is in the way. To be fair, I can probably almost drive under this thing. Almost. It might actually destroy the beacon and the engineer plushie that's on top. But yeah, much better maneuvering radius here. And it should still work from the height. Yeah, it does. Excellent. Lock on. Charge. Good. So now we'll toss this stuff in here manually for now. You can actually see what in the meantime has happened here. It has made a lot of stuff, but not the stuff that it's supposed to do. Make these, please. Well, this should at least be enough tubes-wise. Oh! Alright. Connected. Excellent. So, now, sorter. Because we're running out of space in the medium inventory. Obviously, if we put a sorter here, we'll have to kind of change the way this goes, because the sorter only accepts inputs from 2 directions. So we have to change how that works to this. Alright, we need computer and interior. I think computer, interior, and something else. This. Let's see if it's enough. No, more construction components. I'm sure we have them in the queue somewhere, don't we? No, not yet. Okay, we actually have 2 more of these in the queue here. But yeah, look, with iron, this is going off so quickly. Love it. Okay, we still need 23. There. Okay, and now we should be able to configure this by saying it should whitelist components. That. And then I think we can tell it to drain all. Then it should whoop slap everything in here. Well, okay, we'll take the gravel out, but we'll do it by hand. We'll take the gravel out. Put the gravel in here. That should stay here. We cannot now use the conveyor system to put the gravel back out of here, because these conveyor sorters, obviously, they're one-way kind of deals, so that doesn't work. They have to put stuff by hand in here. But also that kind of reminds me that I want to, as I said, basically make a little access ramp here, or not a ramp, but probably a staircase. But yeah, let's just weld that. We have a little bit more space here. There, and then I'll put a staircase right here, which needs more construction components, of course, as you do. Well, now I need to get used to that stuff is in here, but yeah, I'll get used to it eventually. There, and then a catwalk. I think we can just put the... Yeah, you cannot connect it to here for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that doesn't work, but most of the time is what I do. I connect it to, like so, to the lower one, and then just put the one that I actually wanted to put on top, like that. There. So now we have a proper access to materials here, which is lovely. Also, let's move that last piece of gravel out of here. 20 tons of gravel. Nobody knows what I'm gonna do with that, but hey, I have gravel. Cool. So now it's doing a lot right now. It's just churning through that iron. That's lovely. And also, of course, our thingy here is drilling like nobody's business. And if we look at the radius, 7.5, so that will reset eventually. But yeah, I mean, the hole is getting deeper. You can see it, I think. Oh man, this is gonna be freaking awesome if it goes all the way down. Although I'm not 100% sure about the stability. We'll see about that. Okay, so what are we gonna do next time? I think next time we're gonna probably do one more iron run at least. Maybe even adopt this to take more of these cargo containers, because we just saw with this load of iron, I think you can hear it in the background. It's still running. It's not like doing the activating, deactivating as it normally does when it doesn't have enough material. It's just churning through the stuff. The assembler is already done, and now it's just basically doing stuff in the basic assembler. So yeah. But yeah, so one iron run, and then I reckon we'll start, you know, just cleaning up the base a little bit. I kind of want to put more, at least one more of these bad boys back up. Or back up, just one more of these up. So we have a little bit more, you know, a little bit more power. And I might actually also want to put beacons near these so they don't get struck by lightning. Although they're pretty beefy, they shouldn't get destroyed that easily, and they're the highest point, so if lightning strikes, it's gonna just take one of these out. But yeah, we'll see. And also, hopefully I'll have the solution for the depth piston next time. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and take care.